Alright, today I'm going to show you how to stain wood. This is something that's a really easy thing to do, and it's good to know if you ever need to refinish old furniture, or if you're making a project, some kind of project using wood, which I like to do a lot of woodworking type of things. The first thing you need to do is get a piece of wood. The best thing to do would be to go to a hobby store or a home supply store and get a nice finished piece of wood that you can use for your project. Depending on what it is, you might be building a birdhouse, making a sign like I'm going to do. If you have an unfinished piece of wood, that's fine. You can use that as well, but it'll work best if you sand it down. Sand it so it's nice and smooth. You don't feel any splinters or any rough patches. That way it'll take the stain nicely, it'll come out more even, and it'll be a nicer looking project when you're finished. The other thing to keep in mind is that you want to be working in a well-ventilated area, because wood stain does have very strong fumes, and if you're not in a ventilated area you're going to end up with a headache or perhaps even feeling sick to your stomach. So you've got that, you've got your wood, you're in a well-ventilated area. Next thing you're going to need to do is make sure you've got your stain, and wood stain comes in a couple different formats. They do make it in an aerosol spray. I have used this. I prefer to use it out of the can, but when you apply it yourself using either a brush or one of these little sponge applicators, either one of these works better, I think, because you have more control over where it ends up on your wood. So make sure that you mix your stain. Just like paint, it will settle in the can, so you want to make sure that it's nicely mixed. And you can mix it just like this, just gently turning it up and down or rolling it from side to side. You don't want to shake it really hard, because that'll end up putting bubbles into it, and that could end up affecting the finish that you get. So go ahead and open up your can of stain. Oops. Take your piece of wood. I've laid down newspapers here on the top of my work surface. Obviously, I don't want to damage the surface that I'm working on, this table. So take your stain, your little brush, or your sponge applicator, dip it in the stain, and just start brushing it on evenly. The one thing to keep in mind with wood stain is that if it's not applied evenly, you're obviously going to get little splotches. You'll get areas where it's darker or lighter, and you don't want that. So make sure that as you're applying it, you're spreading it evenly, you're getting a nice, consistent color, and that you're covering the entire surface of the object that you're staining. So with each application, your stain, the color, is going to be darker. If you want something relatively light, maybe you just want to put on one coat. If you want something darker, you could go ahead and add a second coat, or even third or fourth coat. This is a sign that I've already put one coat of stain on. I'd like to make it a little bit darker, so I'm going to put another coat. And all I do, again, dip the sponge in the stain and apply it evenly onto the object. So this doesn't take long to do. The thing that takes the longest probably would be waiting for each coat to dry. You don't want to apply a second or third coat until the previous coat has dried. So keep applying coats of stain until you get the color you want, or you're matching the color. If you're refinishing furniture, say you have a chair, you want to match the table. So I'm going to go ahead and finish staining my little sign here, and now you know how to stain wood on your own. Thanks.